All right, Algebra 1A students. Welcome to part 1 of lesson 5.4. In this video, we're going to build off of kind of what we did in our last videos about the slope-intercept form of a linear equation, y equals m times x plus b. Today, we're going to look at a slightly different form, which in some cases is easier to write, and for some people easier to graph from as well. But today we're just going to worry about what the form looks like and how we write equations in that form. Okay. The main reason we need this form of an equation is because what we did in our last video, we used the y-intercept, which, as you remember, is where the graph crosses the y-axis. Right? We used the y-intercept to write the equation. The problem comes when we don't know where the y-intercept is. Sometimes we're just given an equation, or we're just given a situation where we don't know what the y-intercept is. Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to learn how to write an equation without using the y-intercept. It's going to be a new form called point-slope form of a line. Point-slope form of a line. Okay, the point-slope form of an equation looks like this. Okay, it looks longer than the slope-intercept form of a line, but we have to realize that some of the things are the same. Okay, like slope right here. Slope is the same as it was before in our y equals mx plus b form. Okay, it's exactly the same. Nothing has changed here at all. The thing that has changed is that it is no longer just y equals something on the other side. Y is no longer by itself. Okay, but there's an xy coordinate point that this line goes through. Like, say, maybe it goes through the point 1, 2, so 1 in the x and 2 in the y. Then this 1 is x. Okay, we call it x1. 1 means it represents 1 point. So when we write this equation, instead of x minus x1 right here in the parentheses, we would put x minus 1. X minus the x coordinate of the point that we are given. X minus this x coordinate. Okay? And similarly, the 2 is my y coordinate. So in the front of my equation, it no longer just says y equals. Now it says y minus the y coordinate that I'm given. Well, in this case, the y coordinate is a 2. So I would start my equation with y minus 2. Okay, y minus 2 equals, whatever my slope is. I'll just call it m times, in parentheses, x minus, in this case, a 1. Okay, and once I've written that and replaced this m with a number, say it's a 3 or something like that, my equation's finished. Okay, this is the final product. I don't have to do anything to my equation. I'm done right at this point right here. Okay, as soon as I put a number in here for my y coordinate, in right there for my slope, and in right there for my x coordinate, as soon as I put a number in these places, my equation is done. Okay, the thing we need to realize is that when the x and y numbers are positive, the equation ends up saying y minus and x minus. I don't want to get into why that is, but we do have to realize that if these numbers in the coordinate point are positive, it's going to say y minus those points and x minus that coordinate. Okay? Let's look at one. Let's practice a little bit what this is going to look like in your homework. Okay? Here we're given a situation where a line passes through this xy point, -3 in the x, 6 in the y, and has a slope of -5. And they would like the equation for its line. Well, I know that my general form of an equation when I don't know the y-intercept, which I don't here, they just give me some random point, and the slope is to say, okay, y minus y1 equals -5, oops, sorry, getting ahead of myself a little bit there, equals m, which is my slope, times, in parentheses, x minus x1, which is the x coordinate of the point I'm given. Okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do is just put the slope in. I know the slope, it's -5, it's going to go right there, -5. Okay? The x and the y that are just the variables without the little numbers next to them always stay the same. They're always there. They never change. They never move. X minus. Okay, that's always that way. Y minus. That's always that way. Okay. Now the only thing that I need to put in here are my x and y coordinates. My x coordinate is a -3, so that goes here. I'll replace my x1 with a -3. And my y coordinate is a 6. I replace my y coordinate with a 6. Okay, and now my equation is basically finished. The only thing I can maybe do is say x minus a -3. X minus a negative is like adding. Minus a negative is like adding a positive. So maybe I could say that then. And my final answer here would say y minus 6 equals -5 times x plus 3, because it was minus a negative. And that would be a finished product in point-slope form. Y minus my y coordinate equals slope times x minus my x coordinate, which has flipped to a plus sign now. Okay? I've got one here for you to try as well. The slope here is a fraction, not that that really matters. You're just putting it in front of those parentheses in place of m. So again, your general form is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Right, so your job is to replace this number, that letter with a number, that letter with a number, and that letter with a number. And then you'll be done. Your equation will be finished. So take a second to fill those in, write that equation down, and then come on back and I'll show you what you should have. So pause the video now, take a look at that, and then come on back. Okay, it should say y minus -4 equals 2/3 times x minus 8. The only way I would change that probably is by, instead of saying minus -4, I would say plus 4 equals 2/3 times x minus 8. Okay? Because a -4 was my y1, 2/3 was my m, and 8 was my x. Okay, if you have questions about writing equations in point-slope form given the point and the slope, please make a note to ask me in class tomorrow. Otherwise, that's all I have for you. Have a wonderful night.